Hello and welcome to Homeschool MBA. The lecture today is what is networking in career management. Um, as usual, we've created a one-page slide which summarizes different networking and career management options. We will go through each one of them. So, Professor, how are you doing? Let's talk about networking and career management.
Important topic and factor in professional life. As it is said that, it's like opening a saving bank account. Like you take money out of the account and then you deposit money in that account. So that becomes a part of life. Exactly the same way, the professional connections are like this bank account. Whenever you need their help, you seek help and they help you, and at the same time when they seek help, you help them. So it's a kind of give and take situation where mutual understanding and mutual communication is very important. Now there are a number of stages, and there are a number of factors that are which are part of this networking. Like we say that there are various types and stages of developing network, which are briefly explained below, and I'll try to explain one by one. The first stage is, of course, the personality type. Now, as far as personality type is concerned, generally speaking, there are two types of personalities, that is optimistic personality and pessimistic personality. Optimistic personality is kind of extrovert, and pessimistic personality is kind of introvert. Extrovert people, they are outgoing, they are socializing, and they are helpful for others, and they are very positive in their thinking and proactive, and they, like to help others, and they like to even seek help from others. The introvert people are, self-centered people. They are not very outgoing, and therefore these people perhaps do not believe in a network of, connections and things like that. They are known as loners. So, but they are very intelligent people, no doubt about it. They are very, well organized within themselves, and they are self-sufficient type of people, that they uh, keep working and without even bothering who is around. So they are opposite to extrovert people. So this is what we can say about the personality type: positive, negative, optimistic, and pessimistic, outgoing and introvert. So these two personality factors are very important as far as network of professional connections, or even for that matter social connections are concerned. Then the second stage is network or friendship. So networking is professional connections, friendship is social connections. Networking is for career management, friendship is for socialization. Now here we have to differentiate between networking and friendship. So friendship primarily is for socialization, and it is for your entertainment, and it is a kind of mutual liking for each other. The families get together, the friends get together, and even the children, and they get together with passage of time when you grow older, and things like that. So you have to have a set of families with whom you can informally go and sit and gossip, and things like that, exchange your point of view, discuss anything, social problems, or even for that matter political and professional problems. So so we must differentiate between friendship and networking. Now, as against friendship, networking is a professional connection. Let's say you are an engineer and you'd like to have a doctor as a friend, or you would like to have an advocate or a lawyer or an attorney as a friend, or you'd like to even have some sportsman as your, friend, things like that. And then networking also means that the company, within the company, that you are having connections so that the people, let's say those who are senior to you, you have some kind of, connection with them. They respect you and they help you and they, kind of talk good of you within the organization. And exactly the same way, you have connection with the people who are junior to you, and they are kind of you mentor them and you look after them. Then outside the company, that is networking, which would mean that you have connection with your customers, with your suppliers, with your supply chain, with your the companies that you deal with them. So that is what we how we differentiate between friendship and networking. So both are important. Network is important at workplace, and friendship is important at home. Then third stage is that it is said in different books that your personality is the average of five people around you. Well, the myth is true if you believe in it. It's a myth, not a reality. Or it can be said that it's an argument, not a fact. But however, since people have said about this, so in certain cases it might be right that it's average of five people around you. But individual personalities are different. Exceptions are always there. That as we discussed earlier, individual personalities can be introvert, can be extrovert, can be positive, can be negative, can be optimistic, can be pessimistic, and can be loners and can be socializers, and things like that. So it's very difficult to say that average of five people around you is the personality reality. So well, I may not agree with this. However, since it is said in different books, so it might be true. Then, as I said, that two major factors of individual personalities are optimistic and pessimistic. Optimistic people are those who say half glass full, and pessimistic people are those who say half glass empty. Optimistic people are proactive, visualizers, strategists, good planner, and they can foresee problems and they can foresee the change. So, and they're prepared to even accept the, some kind of debacles or failures in life and still, you know, learn from it and don't get kind of discouraged. Pessimistic people are those who learn from their own mistakes, as against optimistic people, those who learn from others' mistakes. And this is a very important factor that when you learn from other mistakes, there are so many people around you, and you learn from their mistakes and you correct your action and your personality. So that's better. So you become proactive. Pessimistic people, let's say, when you learn from your own mistake, it's too late to rectify that. So how many times will you, face this kind of debacle and, you know, get into trouble and then learn? So I would say that this word belongs to optimistics and rest are spectators. So optimism is the key word which must be. But in certain cases, optimism may not be very helpful, like in health management. So in health management, you don't have to be too much optimistic about it, but you don't have to be pessimistic as well, but you have to be careful because being too optimistic about health issues, that you have certain problems and you say, oh no, it's okay. So that's wrong. In case of health management, you have to be careful and you have to be realistic. Then the next stage is networking and friendship choices. So in this, networking is related with professional life. Now, basically, in networking and friendship choices, what you look at is that in networking, you are looking for your mentor or mentoree. You are looking for those people who seek help from you and you help them, and those people from whom you seek help in your professional career and career development. So that is the different. And then the other choice is that at middle management level, your networking should be both vertical and horizontal. So vertical means that must have a good relationship with your seniors, with your colleagues, with your peers, and even with your juniors. Therefore, you have to have, because in at middle management level, you are under observation both from top management and from your subordinates. So you have to be very choosy and you have to be very careful in this. Then is the senior management level. When you become senior at senior management level or executive management level, now your networking choices are different. They are more external rather than internal, like your friendship with the heads of other companies, heads of your uh, you know vendors companies, and things like that. So the level is changed at senior management level. It's chief executive level or chief operating officer level or managing director level. So you have to excuse me, you have to look at the ecosystem of your company and those people who are involved somehow or the other in your operations, in your production, and in your marketing and in your sales. You have to have good relationship with those heads of the companies, and you have to socialize with them, and you have to create a kind of environment where you invite them for various seminars, workshops, and social gatherings, and exactly the same way they also invite you. And these days, you would find that such people, they are, kind of golfers. They play golf together. They go for different sports together. They play squash together, and they go for walk together, or even for trekking and all that. So that's a kind of network at senior management level. And then friendship at different stages of life. So that is, as I said, that this is a different factor than networking. Friendship, it could be personal friendship, it could be family friendship, it could be friendship because of your kids, because kids have their own friends and kids have their own social setup. So at this stage, you have not have to be very self-centered for your own friendship, but you have to go for the connections with the families whose kids are, let's say, classmates or friends of your kids, and you join together. So that is friendship at different stages of life, that the children grow up, and then similarly this tree of friendship grows, and then children of children, and things like that. Ultimately it becomes a company of few families who socialize together, and who can share views, and you can even share some resources together. And ultimately, in different cultures, even the children marriages, etc., they take place within this group. So That is what we can say about this stage. And then the fifth stage is role of experts in work, in networking and friendship. Now, here, let us say it's very little to say that, you need to have friends as doctors, engineers, finance, architects, or social connections. So let us say when you are an engineer and you have a friend as a doctor, so whenever you need his services, he will come to you, and vice versa. When doctors needs engineer services, so they'll come up to you. And it's exactly the same way for finance and tax, etc., and for social connections. So therefore, we would say that this at this stage you need to have professionals like doctors, engineers, finance, tax, and social connection experts part of your network, so that whenever you need their help and assistance and professional services, you can obtain them. Then last stage is that stay connected. Now, this is very important. Now, networking doesn't mean that you connect with your group only when you need them. No, it is like exchange of greetings, like socialization, and then like positive communication. So staying connected means that you are always, you have you have the informality of calling them at any time and exchanging your reviews on mobile phones or on WhatsApp or on email or things like that. So do not get carried away that the networking means that you connect with your network only when you need them. No, it should be a continuous, positive, regular connection, like socialization and like inviting them for various functions and various events and things like that, so that you stay connected. I think this is what can be said maximum about the networking and career management. In a career management, networking is most important. As I said, that it's just like saving bank account, and you must maintain that saving bank account of connections. That's all. I think that's maximum I can say about it.
Okay,
And
Professor,
thank you
couple
very
of
much.
questions. One question comes to mind is like, how birds fly together. Um, People usually hang around with similar-minded people. How should one diversify his network?
You see, uh, as I said earlier in some of the tasks, that communication doesn't mean talking skills. Communication means, or connection means, listening skills. Even if you do not, temperamentally match each other, you have to respect. The most important thing in connection is that you are important, not me. Whether the other party, what he or she is saying, whether you agree or you don't disagree. The concept over here is agree to disagree. So if you believe in that kind of myth, agree to disagree, then you will resolve this problem of. So do not, object to what other people say. Let them express their point of view, even if it goes against your point of view, because that is how you will learn. Because if everything is just like you want, then there is no learning, and then there is no, some kind of good communication between you. So respect each other's point of view, and of course stick to your own point of view. And if somebody has better argument, you better change your point of view. That is what you can do. Yes.
Okay, the other question is, does networking just happen naturally, or you have to make an effort to network?
No, it doesn't happen naturally. You have to be, you have to be very serious about it. You have to create network, and you have to make special efforts to create that network. As I said that, not only communicating, but also, socializing with them, and also inviting them to various workshops, seminars, and, other social events, and, things like that, exchanging your telephone numbers and your email numbers, WhatsApp numbers, and things like that. You have to, and it's a time-taking process. It's not simply that you just list out that these are the people I'm going to make networking. So as you said, that you have to look at their temperament, you have to look at their choices, and you have to look at their likes and dislikes, and those people who come very close to your own concept of life, and whether they are your seniors or your customers or your juniors. So you better create a kind of no, even in networking, there are levels, that there are some people with whom you are very, very frank, and you can, call them by first name, and, things like that. But yet there are certain levels, but, certain connections with whom you are very formal but firm, and you help each other. Yes.
Okay, one other question, like if I put it in, get out of the business zone in our normal lives, you listed over here role of experts, uh,
Mhm.
with your experience, how does one seek to in his network? Say if I'm a businessman, how do I
Mhm.
make that in my network I have a doctor, I have a finance guy, engineer, or experts in different fields that I will use
Yeah,
every.
yes, I understand your question. You see, let me give you my personal example that at this age where I am, actually, you need your medical help. So I have a dentist who is my friend, and I have a, eye specialist who is my friend. And recently, I wanted because there is some chance I need some kind of I'm losing sight in my right eye. So different doctors started advising me this that, but a friend of mine who was my student as well, I went to him, and he examined me, and he said that people, other doctors had created a kind of emergency that, oh, go and do this, but I didn't have confidence in them. So, but this doctor about whom I am talking, eye specialist, who is my friend also and my student also. I have full faith in him. So went to him, he examined me, and he said, "Okay, don't worry about it. I'll call you after a couple of weeks, and we'll operate upon and stay blessed. Don't worry, it's not an emergency." That's what it is. Or a dentist, let us say, at midnight you have serious toothache. So what will you do? So if you have a doctor and I have a doctor, I have the liberty to, even call him at midnight that I'm having problem with my tooth. He can, he advises me to, okay, take this medicine. So that's what is required when we say professional. Exactly the same way in your, sales also. And there are some people who are marketing experts or sales experts. You should have a frank access to them, and you should be able to discuss your problem freely with them and get their advice and act upon. Yes.
Professor, last question. I know we were talking offline. You were telling me about how you had a professor who was very strict, who would always be, very strict with grades and very tough with the students. And then on the contrary, there were professors that, with your experience where you had a more connection with the, with your network, with your friend, with your students. Maybe you can tell us, uh, what was your experience like? Comparing a strict professor versus not too strict professor in real life.
Yes, you see, there are two approaches in your professional life. Let's say strict professors, their objective is to really teach you well, and they to develop you into a good person. And exactly the same way the other professors also they are. So, like I am a very not a very strict professor. I am very flexible. Let's say the strict professor was a colleague of mine, and he would say, "Okay, my students, I need this assignment to be submitted to my computer 9 o'clock Monday morning." And those people who failed to, kind of submit their assignment due to some problem or the other, they would really come and back to him that, look, I had no computer network at that time. I couldn't send my assignment. Kindly accept it. And we'd say, no, the time is gone. On the contrary, I was opposite to that. No, even let us say when I said that assignment and it was to be submitted on Monday, and on next Tuesday, a student comes to me and says, "Sorry, sir, I'm late. My mother was sick and I'm late. I couldn't submit my assignment last week. Can you please accept it?" I would say, "Okay, have you done it?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, it's all right. Let me go and see your assignment. That what have you done?" Now, the purpose here is, major purpose here is doing assignment. The objective is not doing assignment by 9 o'clock Monday morning, because it's not the time which matters. It is the content of the assignment or the content that the students they use. So the serious professor was, kind of different students have different names of him and, things like that. Exactly the same way. Different students have different names as far as I'm concerned. And our chancellor, he used to like both of us. He used to say that here is a professor who is very strict and he is known as dash, dash, dash. And here is a professor who is too lenient and he's very relaxed with his students and, kind of, and he is referred as this, that. So that is a kind of, these are two different approaches. The objective is to